Hello, true believers. This is bebotsonly, and I am doing another Gundam bootleg review. And this time it is the Skygrasper and Aile Striker. I repeat, Skygrasper and Aile Striker because there's actually two components over here, two parts. And there's the plain part, which is the Skygrasper, and then the Aile Striker, which is the wing component. They separate, and this is supposed to separate and become the wings of this perfect grade strike Gundam over here. So Aile Striker, I think that's French for wing, I think. Aile. Somebody probably correct me in the comments. I could be wrong. But that's the name, Aile Striker Skygrasper. Or if it's English, but I'm sure they say it in Japanese, or when they say the name, they'll say Skygrasper, something like that. Sorry, my Japanese accent is terrible. I probably offended a lot of Japanese by saying that, but that's okay. No one's watching this anyway, so what they don't know won't hurt them. So, before we get into the actual unit itself, let's get to the box. And I can't remember how much this cost, but it's usually a third of the price of the original, half to a third. So it's like if it's like $100, maybe it's like $30, $40 for the, so like $100 original. Let's say this is $100 for the original, then it'll cost you about $30 or $40 for the bootleg. And this is a Daban. It's kind of a play on Bandai, so it's like Daban, Banda, minus the I. So that's the Daban model. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this in one take. The kids are online class right now, which is online class. Let me tell you something about online class. It's not. I don't think. In my opinion, I don't think it's real, because if you look at the kids, if you actually sit there and study them, and they're on their computer or they're on their iPad. Well, Hero, he's on both. He has a desktop and an iPad and a cell phone, so you could do it in either of those three. But he has all three, and if you watch him, he has the online class on the desktop, but whatever he has on his phone or on his iPad is not necessarily. You could be watching YouTube. Others are on their, maybe others are using their PlayStation, or they're playing on their PlayStation 4 at the same time they're playing. So it's too easy. It's too easy to get distracted. So it's not the same thing as regular face-to-face class learning. But anyway, while I have time and I got some daylight, I decided to go ahead and vlog. And I think I got another hour until I'm supposed to, the person that's supposed to install the new head unit on the Fortuner is coming this morning also. So it's a busy day. So I'm going to try to get this out of the way, so I have something to upload for you guys to watch. My next video, I will eventually, I will go ahead and talk about one of the resolutions. So I have like two resolutions, one order, as you can see from my court hearings, from my case. And I think it's time for me to read one of them. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read to you the major points, major bullets from the resolution, because I think it's like 18-20 pages, which is a lot. So hold on a second, let me close the door. The door is opening accidentally because of the wind, and the online learning is just right next door, so I need to be right back. Okay, I shut the door because it wasn't shut the door completely all the way, and the wind was causing it to open and close. So so back to the box. So as you can see from the box, it's got this box art. You got this Skygrasper Aile Striker. Here's a Skygrasper by itself, and this is I think this is the Ptolemy. Somebody will correct me. So it's 160 scale model. So that's usually the perfect grade size, the perfect grade scale. The master grade or no grade is 1/100 scale, and then the high grade, the smallest one, or real grade, is usually 1 1 to 144 scale is the smallest. So let's finish up with the box. As you can see over here, it's got the perfect grade strike. Just like over here, I have the perfect grade strike. He's wearing the Aile strikers to allow him to fly. So apparently he can't fly without these wings. So the Skygrasper brings it to him, and then they detach, and then they come together and form Voltron. But it's kind of, this box is misleading. They show you the perfect grade strike, and you would think, oh, is it in the box? No, it's separately. It should say separate. Oh, it says they're not included. But it's kind of misleading. So on the other side is just the same art. It's in Chinese. It looks like it's in Chinese. And the same thing over here. Oops. So that's the Skygrasper by itself with the Aile striker, and then it shows you the details of the engines in the back, and then so over here, so it shows you what the possibilities are. Let's see if I can focus better. I need both hands here. So if it's done well with panel lining, so this one is going to be completely out of the box because I did this while I was in prison. So, but yeah, as you can see, they get all into detail with the lining and the shading, and a little bit of they'll do a little bit of weathering. So that's what it looks like with the display stand in the picture. You're telling us, oh, why are you showing us the picture? Why don't you show the real thing? Okay, I just wanted to finish off with the box. And well, the real thing is not going to be as exciting as in the pictures. Focus. Because like I said, I put this together while I was in prison. So before we get into that, let's talk about some of the other things it comes with. Is the sticker sheet, and this sticker sheet is terrible, because if you look at it, you can see like the outline on the sides, and they don't, yeah, you can see there's like the little square outlines, so it doesn't look really good. The light shines badly off of the plastic, or the cheap plastic. So the water decals are actually the best. So I would love to put these numbers on it, but and you put it on, you can see the little outline, the little plastic outline, and then it starts peeling off, so it looks terrible. So if it's not that big, as you could see, and it's not that much, so it doesn't really need it. And the fact that these are kind of cheap stickers that just kind of peel off after a while, it just looks terrible. So it's better to not put it on, and then put it on, then not put it on, and put it on. So let's talk about what it comes with, the kind of accessories it comes with. So it comes with these two beam sabers, and it comes with this adapter. I think this one's an adapter for the shield. So you can hook on the shield. He has this shield over here that actually can hook onto the side. And then the landing gear, which I didn't really put on because I prefer just kind of like the clean look without the landing gear. If I do hold it, I would rather hold it without the landing gear, so it looks like it's flying, and it just looks cleaner. But the landing gear is there as an option. It comes with the pilot. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll paint these things. So there's enough detail in there. So I can macro right into it. So you could paint it. So that's the detail, or you can add detail to it. Got his helmet on. Then there's another pilot you could put in the back seat. I should have put this pilot in the back seat, but when I was doing the instructions, it didn't say put the pilot on in the back, put a second pilot on the back seat. So I just kind of left it out. So just one pilot in there. And then we have the stand. And I know you're probably asking, well, why haven't you assembled the stand? Well, because after I assemble it, I just don't have the space to display it. So I just kind of put it back in its box. So I really have no intention of displaying it at this point. so I didn't bother putting it on, but as you can see, it's got a pretty extensive display stand. So it comes with, I just want to show you what it comes with: stickers, the landing gears, extra pilot, beam sabers, and then we got this. Then let's go into the instruction manual. So usual, the biggest advantage of this thing is the price, and you pretty much get a copy, but it's a copy of an original. It's not an original copy, so it's a copy from so it's not an original, it's a copy. So it's gonna have, and the quality of the plastic is going to be inferior, especially how old this thing is. This thing has got to be like 10 years old by now. So the plastic, of course, is going to be brittle. So I'm not going to do much with it. It's pretty much, when it comes to bootleg plastic, they're just for display only. So let's get to the instruction manual. So here's what it looks like, and it shows like the runners, and here's some line art there, how it's, you got the landing gear. So this is what the manual looks like. Starts out with the cockpit, then it goes with the ornament, then you get to the wings. So if you want to look at it, go ahead and pause right now, like so. You put it together, and the cockpit, I'll show you most of the things, that the articulation of it. Cockpit does open, and this cannon swivels, and these Skygrasper handles open up to hold his accessories. I think this one you can hold the gun and the shield. Here's the stand. So it's not that many parts. So here's some pictures of it. That's a mounting latch, beam cannon, thruster, nozzles. Yeah, gotcha. And here's it separated, and this is what it looks like. It's supposed to be when it's attached like that, and then if you want to make it look cool and display stand dynamic pose, it's gonna look like that. So you want it to look like that, and you can do it. It has the stand. It's pretty much complete once you get the perfect grade. But so here's a L striker, sword striker, accessories, launcher striker. So you can make the perfect striker. You could just pretty much add all this into one shoulder and this on the other shoulder, and pretty much one on one arm. You can't really, there's only one backpack at a time you can wear, so you can't be wearing all this stuff in the back. But he could definitely wear it on the shoulders and on the arms, and this one goes in the back. So that's what it looks like if we got the perfect grade striker. Some more instructions over here. So let's focus. So this is the Aile striker instructions. So you look at that. Enjoy that. So it's got some articulation. The wing flaps kind of go up and down. And then here's with the landing gear. Not exactly. Oh, these are the beam sabers. So you attach them there. They actually go up. Looks like, yeah, you can have them turn up like that. So you can hold on to it. You can just grab it from his back. When you attach it, there's like this hole over here. You attach it to. I'll show it to you where it goes, and then that's what it looks like if you have the wings folded down. And then this is what it looks like while he's flying with it. So here's the attachment, and that's and then here's where what it looks like if you put it on the stand with the shield on the side and the rifle on the other side. So that's where the attachments go. Here's the adapter, and here's where you apply the stickers, which look terrible. Ta-da! So here we got detail over here. So the pictures, air intake, got the pilot. Look at that. You can really go all out in terms of putting detail on the pilot, cockpit, thruster. Okay, so 20 minutes later, we actually get to the actual unit itself. So after we got through the accessories and the manual, Ta-da! Here it is, some switch hands. So this thing, as you can see, it rotates up, it twists. This actually rotates also up. So this is what it looks like from the top. This actually opens up. And like I said, I don't really want to move it around and show the articulation and attaching, because it's gonna, people have made other videos about it, so you can check those out. Sorry that my videos are, somebody said in the comments my reviews are terrible. Yep, they are terrible, but they are my reviews, so we're just gonna have to deal with them. I mean, I used to go all out. I would take pictures and do work in progress, but like I said, I built this while I was in prison, so there isn't much I could do except put it together like completely out of the box. And I was space was very limited, so I had to work in cramped conditions, especially if you got like 150 people in like a room the size of most master bedrooms. So space was at a premium. So this was the best I could do at the time. Now, if you look at it, it's got great detail for panel lining, but I usually will go like with a lighter gray, but as you can see, it sticks out pretty much by itself. So I didn't bother panel lining it because I didn't want to make it. Sometimes if you panel line it, it just looked kind of toyish. And I usually go a light gray just to add some shadow. Let's look at the bottom. So this is what it's like, the landing gear goes there. Landing gear goes there also. So some of the, look at the color separation over here. You got the yellow and the blue, and then here's the Skygrasper handles, and then the black and the red. Look, it's even got the little clear light indicators right there. So focus on that. So on the tips, just to let you know, hey, look, there's something flying in the air, and it's supposed to be like the blinking part. And these over here, these thrusters are on on joints that can articulate. So there's the yellow there. So there's a nice yellow there. So you got 3 colors pretty much when it comes to the Aile striker. Some a little bit of yellow there, mostly red and black. And these flaps actually move. I got thrusters in the back. It's pretty detailed, if you can see inside. There's some pretty good thruster detail in there. It's kind of hard to see, but there. So it looks like there's some kind of jet fan in there also over here. So there's a good amount of detail in there. It's just kind of hard to see here on video, but in person you could see it. There's actual separate pieces in there like that. So it's attached pretty good. As you can see, it's pretty solid. It's attached. It doesn't really move around that much, but it could, once you start playing around with it, eventually the joints will get loose, it starts falling apart, starts popping. If you ever watch anybody do reviews on bootleg Gundams, the stuff starts popping off, flying off, breaking, falling apart. So I don't need to do that. I can just kind of show you that, just to prove what it looks like on hand, and talk about my out of the box experience. And this was a lifesaver, because it gave me a week of something to do and something to look forward to. So that's a week where I'm not sitting there driving myself crazy because I'm just focused on putting this thing together. So this thing just saved my life, literally. And as you can see, the fit is pretty good. There's no gapping, so it was able to copy the original pretty good. Like I said, I haven't really attached it. I'm just gonna put it back away in its box after after this review because I have nowhere to display it. I have no room, and I'm pretty much, when I buy this, I just buy it for the experience of putting the model together. The most that's the most fun of it. After it's been put together, I don't really care what happens to it, since it's just, I'm not a hardcore collector for originals or do any of this customizing when people really get into it. For me, I just want the experience of putting something together, and after that, there's really nothing much for me to get out of it. So, like, look at that pose right there, having it come out you like that. I almost want to put the stand together so I can take a picture of it like that, but it's okay, you get the idea. So what is it in terms of scale? So now you get to see all the little intricate details. See that? So you got the cockpit over there. You got the tail striker, the Skygrasper. Here's the wings. Here's the beam saber handle where it's supposed to attach to. These beam sabers are supposed to attach to. So the purpose of the video is just to show you what it looks like on my out of the box in hand, and share what I thought about the experience with it. Like I said, it feels, when I put together originals before, feels just the same, except the fit is not exact, but you can work around it easily. Sometimes it'll take a little pressure. It's either too tight or too loose. If it's too loose, then you just glue it down with super glue. If it's too tight, I have sand. I can sandpaper it down the where they connect the peg and hole. I can modify the peg and hole, or just add a little extra pressure to it. Usually I'll use like a vice grip to really get it to lock in together. Once it's locked in together, it's never gonna come apart. I use vice grips to gently squeeze it together, but you kind of run the risk of breaking it if you use that. So you have to really gently squeeze. It's a squeeze. So then once you feel it, you can have a feel before the plastic gives and breaks. So this is the complement to the perfect grade strike Gundam. And before we get into more, let's do size comparison. This is the no grade 1/100 F type. And I think I don't know exactly what grade this one is, because it's another third party, but here's the Gundam. That's my favorite gun. So that's what they look like together. And then here's with the perfect grade strike Gundam together. And most of you are probably saying, yeah, go ahead, detach it, put it together. No, I'm not going to do that. It's a pain. I really don't have the patience right now to put it together. I like it the way it is. Like I said, I'm only after it. If you're just like me, you got some time to kill. Well, I had a lot of time to kill. And you just want to experience putting it together. And if you're cheap like me, well, I'm not cheap. It just depends on what it is that if I can get the same experience for a cheaper price, then yeah, get the Chinese version. I wouldn't do it when it comes to, I'll do it now when it comes to cell phones. Before, maybe 10 years ago, I would never buy a Chinese cell phone. But now, the quality and craftsmanship that goes into these Chinese knockoffs have greatly improved. That you're almost like 90% just like the original, except for the quality of the plastic. So like I said, I would never buy a Chinese car. I would buy the original Japanese car. So it's not like you wouldn't get the same thing with a Chinese car as you would do with the Japanese car. But with a Chinese knockoff, well, all you're after is putting it together, and I can put together cheap plastic. The experience will be just the same as the higher quality plastic, but plastic is plastic. So over time, they're both going to be brittle. And I have had experience with originals being brittle also. So the experience is the same thing for me. It doesn't bother me that it's not an original, because like I said, it feels just the same. And if I can get the same value same experience for a third of the price. That might be cheating. Then that's my explanation. But as a disclaimer, always buy the original, support the industry. And I know there's plenty of people that already do, and this is just a supplement for some people like me who are not really hardcore. This is kind of like the gateway drug into it. So you buy bootlegs first, then eventually, if you like it that much, then you'll buy the original. And usually what hardcore collectors, they do both. They'll buy the original and they'll buy these to do customs. So, or they call it kit bashing, or they want to do dioramas. So this is perfect for it, especially for the hardcore. The people who are hardcore are true fanboys. They'll buy the original, regardless of whether there's bootlegs or not, and what they'll do is they'll end up buying both. So it doesn't really hurt the industry to have these bootlegs, because I wouldn't buy them. I wouldn't buy the originals if they weren't available. It's just way too expensive, and like I said, it's not, especially at this point in my life, I'm not really spending that much money on originals was not a priority. But anyway, that's so what's my final take on it? I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you're just you just want to sample it, see what it's like, want to see what a perfect grade feels like, putting together a perfect grade, then pick one of these up. And as you can see, if you don't look at it closely or you don't touch it that much, it's gonna look exactly like the original. And people who know the original probably will appreciate the copy of it and how it's almost just like the original. Anyway, so that finishes my review. So let me know what you think. Did you pick one up? Is this something that convinced you that you try the bootleg? Do you have time for it, or do you just want to watch these videos instead so you don't have to do it? Then all of that is perfectly fine. Let me know in the comments, and I'll keep doing more Gundam reviews. This is kind of like my filler and the next one is going to be one of the court resolutions, one of my next videos. When I get to that, who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. This is bebotsonly.